Ladies and gentlemen, friends, relatives, trolls, constructive critics, haters, welcome back to the David Sparks Show. And let's get into it right now. There was a school district in Texas this week, the Katy School District, and they had a $69 million new football stadium proposed to be built that was a part of a $99 million bond issue that, from what I've read, wasn't going to raise any taxes. And in addition to this, it would also build a $25 million agriculture and STEM science center. Sounds pretty good. But $69 million for a football stadium? The district counters that, hey, we've gone from 25,000 kids to like 66,000 kids from 1994 to now. But a bunch of Tea Party folks in the community got a campaign up and said, whoa, we don't think you're spending this money right. And, I'm all for opportunities for kids. I think the Science Technology Center, the Agriculture Center they're going to bring there, fantastic. That's the direction we need to go. But I'm kind of agreeing with the Tea Party folks that this comes down to a situation of public administrator arrogance, where you still need, even if you have the money, which the school district says it's in good fiscal shape, even if you've got the money for something like this, what does it say about our values as a civilization that the science, technology, and agriculture, things that do concretely affect the quality of life here on human earth, and sometimes it come down to making the difference between life and death. How does that come below a football stadium? And do we need to seriously reinvestigate our entire psychology of why we're here on planet Earth? What is our meaning as human beings? When someone out there thinks it's a good idea to invest $69 million into a new football stadium and soccer stadium, I'm stunned, and I'm going to have to agree with the Tea Party here. As a former high school athlete, I played on Friday nights under the lights. Part of the experience I thought was really, really good for me later in life. But part of the experience, I experienced a lot of negative things. I was exposed to a lot of guys who were idiotic bullies and who were there on basically because you're here because we don't think you can do anything else. But daggone, you got big muscles and you can run into people really good. And ultimately, for me at least, I can't speak for every single person because everyone has their own experience. My high school football experience should have been really, really, really great. I got to play a lot. I lettered every year that I played. I was named the team's most valuable defensive lineman my senior year. I got always at all league, blah, 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 Johnny Football. But in the end, I wish it really would have been toned down by the community as to its importance, because when you're that age, you really don't know about the whole scope of life and the magnanimous reality of the nature of the planet Earth. And you think that those Friday night lights are the greatest thing of all time, and a lot of guys end up after they've played and they realize that they're not going to be playing on Sunday night afternoons in the pros or Saturday afternoons. I played some of those. They end up basically like, oh, life is really meaningless now, and those are the greatest years of my life. And really all this is coming from is the complete overemphasis of high school sports within the public school spectrum. And we can see by, the Science and Technology Center is now scrapped because someone said, hey, I think it's a good idea to make a football stadium that costs $69 million to make and is extravagant, and everyone will think that is the greatest time they ever lived in their life when they were under those Friday night lights. Well, Football's got a good side. It's got a bad side. It's got a really bad side as far as health of people who play it later on in life. And after some of the findings have come out in the past few years, helped by a frontline investigation, you might not really want to think that this is a sport that the community needs to exalt and ritualize, because that's really what it is. It's about fulfilling our need for a weekly community ritual. But, if you're not involved in that community ritual, it doesn't really mean anything to you. And when you think about the meaning of football or sports in general, competition in life, yeah, they can teach you some things to be, a little more competitive. But in the end, they don't really mean anything. They don't. It's just like running around, having some fun, knocking into people, and playing the game. But the next week, it'll be the same thing. The next year, it'll be the same thing by a different crew. And so, I think we should privatize all high school sports. Allow like intramural competitions, because you do want to encourage athleticism and physical fitness. I think that's really great. We could actually even expand the scope of stuff, from traditional sports to all kinds of outdoor athletics, hiking, kayaking. Our scope right now is really, really limited. And the public dollar really doesn't need to go into funding these high school sports programs as they are. It's the political pressure within governments to fund sports at the ahead of all else, ahead of the things, the life and death matters like science, technology, and agriculture, that which will fulfill and feed the people. They take a step a notch down. And now, because if someone decided to tack this on, the folks in that community rightly said, hey, a high school football stadium for $69 million? Are you kidding me, bro? And now, Katy, Texas, they're not going to have a science, technology, agriculture center or a high school football center, soccer center, because of misplaced priorities. What do you folks think? Leave me a comment below. As I've always said, thank you very much for watching TYT Nation. Thank you, Democratic Underground. Thank you, my Facebook page. Thank you. If you got any questions, send them to david@thedavidsparks.com. And that's all I got to say today. Take care. Be good to your mama and papa, your fellow man, and always eat homegrown tomatoes. Silence.